You still look the same.
I still got some of my souvenirs back here too. See,
Oh my God.
do you
Crazy.
remember Wilson? Wilson,
Yep.
the there we go.
Yeah. Oh
And
my
then
God.
Finn Sprague gave me this Rocky the so Wilson went around the world 2.5 times, and Rocky went around the world once. And this little penguin here from the Falkland Islands went around the world once, 1.5 times.
It's so crazy. What year did you sail out of Portland Harbor? And if you remember the date, I was in a little Boston whaler with my son Eli, and we
Oh,
waved goodbye
right.
to you. And I was,
That
I
was
was,
2004. It was the late 2000, summer 2004. We went over to France.
yeah. So I'll never forget. I'm right in front of Portland Headlight, and I'm waving at you, and you go into the sunset, and we had a bunch of different events with you and
Hmm.
Shipyard, and
Hmm.
went up and saw the governor, and you were hustling anybody and everybody for money, and you were doing
Hustling
it.
everybody. You know how it is. You know
I
how it is.
I certainly
Yeah.
do,
That's
and
why it's been cool for me to help out Ronnie some this time around, because, I know what he's going through and I know better than anybody,
well,
you
you
know.
you definitely do. And what's so strange about this is I got an email from who is now his girlfriend, Marissa
Hmm.
Verino, who's the niece of Johnny Verino and Vinny Verino, good friends of mine from high school, from Chevrolet. And she just mentioned this and mentioned, would you be interested in meeting Ronnie and talk about sponsoring? And they said, yeah, I'm not sure we could, how much energy we could give it, this and that, given what's going on. It's really kind of crazy in the beer business right now, and COVID, blah blah blah. But I'd love to meet you again. I knew her from years ago, and so she came over to the brewery. We had a quick meeting, and I was very captivated by the story. And at this point, I didn't realize that she was dating Ronnie. I just thought, for whatever reason, she was. And she told me about the loss of her husband to cancer, and it was tragic with that. And then she said, and I said, well, geez, I'd meet Ronnie if you're that passionate about this. And so we met and had lunch at $3 Dewey's. And, he told me a
Perfect.
story. Yeah. He's told me a story about being a veteran. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember, my
Hmm.
dad ran a home for veterans, was a prisoner of war in the South Pacific,
Oh,
and,
wow.
and all of that. And then he told me about how sailing kind of saved him
Hmm.
and his passion for it. And then he mentioned, I said, well, geez, have you, how well do you know Bruce? And he goes, I know Bruce very well. And then I didn't even know you were in Maine, right? Which is kind
What?
of, I didn't know you were in Maine. I didn't
Dude,
know.
I get back here. I wound up after the Vendée Globe, I wound up breaking up with my longtime girlfriend, been putting up with me for all those years, and I wound up
Oh
hooking up
God.
with a crazy French girl,
Oh,
and
perfect.
I couldn't go back to California. And I don't know, dude, I should have done one of my audio video presentations that I used to do for years after the Vendée. I have this whole show I used to do. I did it for the uh, uh, main business manufacturer associate in one year. But one of the lines I have in that show is I point out one of my most important thing I learned from the whole experience was don't make relationship decisions after 110 days at sea.
Actually, Ronnie has that goal after this to do the Vendée race,
Yep.
and
Yep.
nobody's better.
He's one of the guys. There's been a few Americans that I've thought over the years. I mean, I after I finished, of course, I said, "Oh, I don't ever want to do that again." And then I changed my mind and I tried to raise money to do it, but it was hopeless. And to be competitive in it now, dude, it takes so much money. The game has gotten so. But Ronnie is this guy. He could do it. He's young enough. He's got enough experience, which is hard to get that combination in the American side, and he could pull it off. And
Yeah. Well,
it's I'm gonna do my
obviously,
best to help him.
I'm going. The passion for having a purpose from Ronnie taking his experience being an Iraq wounded veteran and using sailing to, kind of help cure himself. Or you're never fully cured, I think, from stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, and the commitment of us to kind of further our brand and be behind causes that can make a difference. I think the biggest thing is he has this goal, and we do a road race for veterans in Tampa, in which they do it for veteran families, and we've tried to support our veterans because of what they've done and what they do and continue to do. So this just felt right. You know, when they mentioned you, it was like, Jesus Christ, I can't even believe we haven't talked or met and oddly, when you call a guy that's doing this the skipper, right? You don't call him the captain. What do you call a?
Yeah. He's the designated driver.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I
So
felt I was. You know, it's a team effort by a single-handed racing is anything but single-handed.
yeah,
It's a giant team effort,
yeah.
and there's a designated driver to do it. So the skipper is the designated driver.
So he, you know, his quest to do this, we're gonna give it all we have. I want to do a toast. We're gonna reach out to the world and ask our accounts and friends and family to toast them with Pumpkinhead or Shipyard beer
Oh,
because
cool.
we've got Pumpkinhead Pete, like you had your little souvenirs and stuff. I'll send you a little video we did. Pumpkinhead Pete is our kind of mascot, for lack of a better word, for Pumpkinhead, and we're gonna send him around the world with him. Well, it might just be a sticker, but it's him in spirit, and or a little Bobby doll. We haven't got the final version of it yet. We got some great photography with him and Pumpkinhead Pete on his on. Now we renamed it Shipyard Brewing, so I'm all in. I'm all in, and
Cool.
I'm all
Well,
in with the idea of trying to raise whatever it's going to take, $10 million or whatever, for the Vendée race as well. So I'm gonna
that's really cool that you're getting a foothold in the UK, and if
yeah,
you know the whole adventure of trying to move American beer product. You know, 'cause I think it makes sense because you've come so far as far as the identity of American breweries
yeah,
and brands and the progression. You know, and I think you're able to leverage that
yeah,
back where it all came from, right? So
right.
that's
Well,
very
yeah,
very
so
cool.
what we say, born in Maine, you know, brewed around the world. So
Mm,
we're
mm,
using
mm.
American ingredients, American know-how, and we're doing it with strategic relationships. So it's
Hmm, hmm.
kind of unique in our strategy. But so we want to kind of put together a group that have that passion for doing this, particularly with Ronnie. And I know
Hmm.
that you're already doing that, you know, with everything you committed
On a very small level from my end, as you know. And
yeah.
you know,
Well,
my if I don't recommend sailing around the world solo as a career move. You know, I sent my
yeah.
back
Well,
for quite a long way, but at least it gave me the street cred I need in the marine business for doing electrical systems, and so we're doing okay. You know, but long way from having my own brewery.
well, what was it? Remember the time you were writing on email or whatever, giving updates to everybody? And I remember one day waking up at like 4 a.m. and I'm reading about you having the premonition to go down below, and there was a pinhole or something that popped out and water was coming into the boat. Was that something you remember? I
Oh
remember
yeah,
that.
a couple things. I think at what point my rudder bearing housing, there's a seal there that says neoprene rubber, and that thing was getting hydraulic oil from the ram slowly oozing out and soaking, which slowly broke it down. So that thing started to deteriorate, and you get a little squirt of water coming out, here
Yeah,
out of it. And I was back there patching, gluing on little patches with sealant, with little bits of neoprene, trying to keep it together so it wouldn't blow out before the
yeah.
race. That's one of the. There's all kinds
Do you
of.
have any picture in there in your room there with of either the finish or your boat with you on it or anything like that? Or
Oh, not here in the room, but I got all
yeah,
kinds of pictures and videos and
yeah,
stuff of the whole shebang. And there's a lot
yeah.
of stuff on my YouTube channel. Good
Okay.
YouTube videos there.
We'll link to the. This is very special talking to you again. I mean, I often told the story about this guy from San Francisco, and I'll meet somebody from San Francisco who's in the sailing world, and they'll know you and remember California, and then obviously how much Portland's changed but stayed the same, and you're an American treasure, and I think
Ah,
I mean, seriously, this is something like climbing Everest and being a leader. Kids can see that there are things that are done that are, you don't have to be, this isn't all about the money, the perspiration and the desire that you had. And I think it was like 20 boats or 22 boats and 9 finished. Was that the
yeah.
first one?
Well,
Yeah.
I actually think no. In the first ones were really, really. We had one of the best finish ratios in the year that I went. 20
Yeah.
boats started and 14 finished. Only 6 dropped
Okay.
out, which is the highest
Okay.
finish ratio, which
Right.
which says something how hard the event is. That that's the highest finish ratio ever
Yeah.
been so far.
Well,
But I was
all
so
right.
lucky. to hook into so many people in both my Around Alone with all the stopovers and then the Vendée. Yeah, just the fact I pulled that off, with
Yeah.
helpers like you and Vince Bragg, and we had donors, like 2,000 donors from over like 32 of the states.
Yeah. Well,
It's
and I
amazing.
remember being up there with Dodge. What was his name? Wasn't Dodge Morgan, or was it
Dodge
Dodge?
Morgan.
Yeah, we
Yep,
were up at
he was on board.
we were up at the State House, and
Oh, that's right.
Merle Hallett was there, and he's talking. He said, what advice?" He goes, "Don't do it," or something like that. Like,
He was funny.
well, I look forward to coming up, and cheers, my friend.
Right on. Yeah, drop me a note. Look
You
forward to it.
bet.
And thanks
Love
for
you
all the
guys.
help. All
You
right.
bet.
Cheers.
Cheers.